Hey, what's going on everyone? Today we're going to be looking at a new F9 Pro instrument cluster display with a built-in air vent that is compatible for Model 3, Model Y, Highland, Juniper, all of the Tesla models. I'm going to show you step by step on how to do this installation. This is a very popular display from back in the days, but now they upgraded it with new UI that matches with Tesla's UI and the S11 display that we recently reviewed. This display has Apple CarPlay, so you can use Waze and all the Apple CarPlay. You got Android Auto, as well as you got front camera that shows you the blind spot detection system. So if we were to start driving here, you can see that the camera updates and you can see everything. You get cool animation just like Tesla. You can put this to park, and there's just so much that it packs. It also comes with blind spot detection system where there's a car in your blind spot. It is going to show you on both sides, as well as if you start blinking, it will show red, yellow. It'll give you all kinds of alerts. This display also supports iPhone casting, so you can have FaceTime and everything on the display there. As you can see, I'm actually talking on the display. That's because I have my phone casted to the display. So if I was to take this out, as you can see, the display changes and you can see all this app and everything that I am controlling from my phone. And as I say again, if I was to pull that out, you can see me, and that's because it has an iPhone casting feature built into it. There's a lot that this little display packs, and we're going to be covering in great detail everything, including the airflow testing of how much airflow you can get with this display. This product was sent to us free of charge by Sunny Auto to review in our channel. We had reviewed their S11 a couple of weeks ago. That's the display there. I'm going to talk about the display here in just a second, and I have a special discount code, Shiva Tesla, to use during checkout to save some money. Let's continue. A couple of weeks ago, I showed you this S11 instrument cluster display. This is the 11-inch display that is wider than what we are reviewing here. This is a 9-inch display, but this display is bigger in size because the width here is a lot bigger than this guy on the back. Even though this has a smaller air vent in the bottom, it's a pretty powerful air vent. We're going to show you here with the airflow testing. But the UI, what this S11 had, the really nice UI, is now present on this F9. This is the F9 display that we had reviewed about a year ago or so, but this didn't have as good of a UI, and they made a lot of changes, including being able to do iPhone casting, and they just made the UI a lot better, and we're going to be showing you here in the video. But this is the UI that you are going to see is going to be exactly as the S11 UI that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. And matter of fact, the installation is exactly the same. Even the pins, the wires, the plugs, everything is the same. So instead of showing you today and make this video really long, I'm just going to put a link down below for the installation guide for S11 that is also applicable for F9. As I say, it's the exact same thing. So please check the install guide in the description below. It's like more than an hour-long video where I show you every step of the way on how to do this install, and it is applicable for both of these displays. So this is what the display looks like fully installed. They have a little clip in the bottom there to hold it even more. And then you can see from the side, that's where they go. One of the biggest changes that they make from S11 is in S11, you could see the wire kind of hanging out here. They put the wire all the way inside the top now, so you don't see the wire, which is really good that they made that change. But this is what it looks like from the side and the top and here. So this is what the display looks like. Of course, this is UI number 1. I'm gonna cycle through different UI options, but basically you get the speed, you get the battery, you get speed limit. They're using Tesla fonts, the seat belt, all that warning, the light, everything. You see the car here, you see the time, temperature, the gears, and all the menu icons that you can scroll through. On the car itself, if you open, let's say, the door, it shows that the door is open. If you open the front trunk, all of that, it shows the animation, which is really nice. They don't allow changing the wheels. I hope that they make that an option in the future, and I'll show you here how to change different cars and whatnot. But that's what you can do. And then right this here, this is CarPlay, Android Auto. You can cycle through settings, you can cycle through the energy graph, you can cycle through the tire pressure. They still have a white car for the tire pressure, even though mine is red. They need to change that. I have told them already, but basically that is what you get here. Now if you're wondering, well, I don't want to touch the screen while I'm driving, they thought that too. So what they do is here, if we were to zoom out a little bit, so you see this scroll wheel button, and this is true for both the Tesla Model 3s, Ys, the older ones and whatnot. You can use the same right wheel, and what you do is you can just scroll through. So if you go top, bottom, you can do all of that, and it will allow you to cycle through that. So you can use the scroll wheel to cycle through different menu options, and then to select the menu. So if you were to want to select the CarPlay, all you have to do is push this towards the right. So pushing that CarPlay selector, of course, is not connected right now, but that is selected. And then if you were to push this towards the left, then it takes you to the main menu. So that's what you get. You can scroll through on everything in CarPlay menu, when you are in CarPlay, Android Auto, the camera, everything you can control with the scroll wheel button here. And then we're going to talk about the camera and everything, but that's just general control. You can use the scroll wheel to control this entire screen. Now, as I said, this is the UI number 1. If we were to go here onto the settings, press on the setting, the first thing is the Wi-Fi. So you can connect to the Wi-Fi, or this is the Bluetooth. We're going to go through that with the CarPlay and everything here in just a second, or connect to your home Wi-Fi. If we go to general, you can see that you can change between temperatures, so Fahrenheit, Celsius, 12, 24-hour time. You can change the time zone. You can do the speed limit, American versus just the European or the Asian ones, which is American speed limit sign is the black and white, the square, and then the general one would be the European ones, where it's a red circle with the speed limit in the middle. Audio output is either Bluetooth or loudspeaker. So the loudspeaker is a speaker that they have here, and that's where all the navigation and all the audio of this comes out. Or if you want to connect to Tesla, then you select this to Bluetooth and connect this device to Tesla, then the audio will come out of Tesla. And then the pressure, you can do either PSI or bar, and then language. Those are all the options that you get. At any point, if you want to go back to the main screen, you can hit home, and then you will be there. If we go to model here, there's Model 3 Highland, Model 3, Model Y, and Model Y Juniper. So if you have older Model 3, older Model Y, you can go through all of that here. So just curious, if I was to select Model Y, it shows the older Model Y here, which is really cool. So if I was to go to I have the Model 3 Highland. If you select the Model Y Juniper, this is what you get. Right now the light is on, so you can see the lighting animation. And then of course you can change the car color. So red is our car, but you can change to blue, gray. So if I was to change to blue, this is what you're gonna get. So that's the blue Model 3 Highland. And again, as I said, you can change between different colors, the gray, red. So I'm gonna leave mine to red. And then the driver mode is left or right. So if you're on a right-hand drive or left-hand drive, so you can see that here. Now going to display, there is UI 1, UI 2, UI 3. I'll circle through that here in just a second. And then there is light mode, dark mode, and auto. There is rainbow road, which is when you turn on the autopilot, if you want that rainbow effect, which I'll show you here in just a second. And then the mobile internet. This is basically the CarPlay mode. Do you want a half a screen or a full screen? And you can see that here from the half or full screen. You can either get the full screen CarPlay or half a screen CarPlay with the car information on the right. And then forward looking is just basically camera. They should just call that camera and then just select that. So that's what you get with the display. Now going to software, there is the software update. If you check the MCU, if there is an update, you can update it. I'm not sure how they are gonna plan on updating the software. In the past with all these other companies, they are like, yeah, we'll send you OTAs, and then they end up sending us a flash drive anyways, just because there was no like a central way they could control these displays. This company specifically told me that they are the direct factory, so they have more control over these displays and be able to update these displays, just like how they added a new software, the updated UI to the F9. I don't know. I'm hopeful that is the case, but I would not take that as a thing where you're like, oh, it's gonna keep getting updated like the Enhance or the Tesla, where things just get updated over time. I wouldn't count on that. I think if there is an issue, they might send you an update. But just for changes, they may just send you a flash drive with it. So that's the software upgrade regardless if you want to go there. So let's go back to the UI here. So that is UI number 1 that we saw earlier. So this is what it looks like, right? And you've got light mode, dark mode for that. If we were to go to here with the display, let's go to UI number 2. So this is the UI number 2 display. As you see, it is kind of dark. This kind of looks like a lucid UI with the dial here, with the speed limit there, and if there is an autopilot, it will just pop up there. You see the graph, energy graph here. It shows the kilowatt per 100 kilometer. I don't trust this, right? It's not gonna match Tesla's. I mean, I think that's a great idea if they could get this to work. But right now, I feel like this is going to be way off. But that's what you get here with the speed limit and everything. And then if the car was into drive, you'll just going to see the same screen here. If we go back and let us select UI number 3, it kind of is going to look like UI number 1. So it looks pretty much the same as UI number 1, to be honest with you, on a park mode. But when you put the car into drive, the little drive mode is going to be a little bit different. So let's show you the 3 driving modes while we're driving to show you what it looks like. So this is UI number 1. Let's show you the driving animation. So if we were to put our car into drive, it goes and then it will show the driving animation just like the Tesla. So you see the Highland here, you see the drive. Now if I put the car into reverse, you're going to see the reverse animation like that. So it just makes that same reverse animation like the Tesla. So this is UI number 1. As you can see, there's big letters here for the speed. You can see the acceleration versus deceleration. You can see the big speed limit sign there. You can see the battery percentage, all that good stuff. And the car is in the middle. And the car is in the middle because it will show the blind spot here in just a second. It can show tire pressure, but you can go through different stuff here. You can be CarPlay, settings, all of that. And then if we were to toggle the autopilot, this is what you get. It says, be attentive, and it made me stop. So because I'm holding a phone, Tesla is very smart. It recognized that, but that is what you get. You can even get the nag on here. So this is the driving of UI number 2. You see it is a needle there, and it accelerates. If you decelerate, it kind of stops there. So going back, that's what you get. So it's an instant needle, and you see the speed and everything just through the UI number 2. So UI number 3 looks like this on a driving mode. As you can see, the headlight and everything and the lane markings there. What happens is if there is a car in your blind spot, it actually shows up on the side here on UI number 3. I'm gonna show you, well, there's a car in the blind spot, but basically that's the difference with UI 1 and 2. With UI 3, you actually get the full road here, instead of not having that road on the UI number 1. So we're gonna be testing the blind spot detection system here. So as you can look at it, there's no cars in the blind spot, so it is still black with empty spaces. And we're gonna try to merge here. As you see, there's a car in the blind spot, so it shows yellow. And if I was to blink, it will show red. Now there is nothing showing because I am clear to make the lane change. I'm going to stop the blinker, and right now there's gonna be car in my blind spot here coming up. And once the car reaches my blind spot, this is going to lit up yellow, as you saw. And then once that car moves out, it is going to go away. So that is the blind spot indicator that you get with this system. There's gonna be another car that is coming up here. And you see that it also shows the animation on the middle screen showing that there was a car in your blind spot, which is really cool. And as soon as it goes away, that goes away as well. And if we were to try to make a lane change, well, there's a car in the blind spot, it is going to blink red on the side, as well as it will show the car as being red on where the blind spot is. So right now, look at that, the car turned red here as well. You get that on UI number 1 as well. If you look at it, there is that car there. It just doesn't have the lane marking. There's gonna be another car in the blind spot. So right and left, and that is what you see on both sides. You can see there is a car in the blind spot, and if I were to blink, it will flash red, which is really cool. You also see the blind spot detection on UI number 2, which is this dial UI. So look at it, there is the blind spot and it flashes red. If I was to turn, so it still works on UI number 2, you just don't see the little car animation icon on UI number 2. Now we're gonna try the autopilot. As you can see, it does the rainbow effect there, and it's making a lane change in autopilot. You can see all of that. And if it nags at me, it will actually update on the screen as well. So we're gonna give a try to autopilot on UI number 2, and this is what you get. Looks pretty cool. Looks like the Lucid, the screen for Lucid almost there. So it's really nice with the dial and everything. And you got the nag As you can see, that's what you get with the nag. Now about the front camera, as long as you go to the settings here and you go to your display and that forward looking is toggled on, now your front camera is turned on. What happens is, as long as you put the car into drive, so drive here, the camera toggles on. So you will see the front camera here. It's a really nice camera that you can see a wide angle view of a lot of space there, and it will stay on until you reach 20 miles per hour. And you can manually take this out by just basically pressing this just once towards the left. So when you do that, the camera is just going to go away and you will gonna get this UI here. Now, if you're wondering like, well, I want to be able to manually take that camera out at any speed, anytime. This is what you do. So while you are in drive or park or anything, what you do is just press this towards the left and hold it for a couple of seconds. So do that, then the camera pops up on demand at any time for you. If you have older cars like Tesla Model 3s or Y, you can just press and hold this and the camera toggles on for you. For Highland and Juniper, because this is your autopilot scroll wheel, so that's why you have to press towards the left and hold it. Now again, to get out of this, you just have to press once and you get out of the camera view. The camera is really good because it helps you see blind spots that may not be as easily visible, because just from looking at here, you see it on the bumper. That's why Tesla included a blind spot camera for Model Y Juniper, because then you can see things clearly on the bumper there. So that is what you see with this. That is the whole camera view. It's really good upgrade with the camera, just a little bit tedious to install it. So let's talk about the Android Auto and CarPlay. Let's just start with CarPlay. When you press on here, it says connect to Bluetooth, and then it'll allow you to go through the CarPlay option, just very standard. So if we were to go over here and set, it shows that that is your Bluetooth TSL. So what we have to do is actually go to our phone setting, and on Bluetooth, we have to connect this. So that's the same one that you see on the screen. And we hit and do pair. I'll do allow, and then once it pairs, we have to do a allow CarPlay option. So right now it is there, and yeah, connect to CarPlay. And as you can see, we have got CarPlay here. This is amazing. You can see everything. Google Map, you can use Waze, you can use any of the stuff that you need. I can go to, let's say, gas stations, and it will find Sheets. Let's go and hit go.
Starting route to Sheets. You can ask Siri to report any crashes or hazards
there you go.
Along the way.
And that is the voice that you hear from
Then
the speaker right here. So that's the speaker that is there, and it is just going to show you that here. Now, if you want the audio to come out of the Tesla, you have to go to the settings in Bluetooth, connect this Bluetooth with Tesla's Bluetooth, and that's how you get the audio there. But you have got your full CarPlay there. As I said, the camera automatically turns on, and if you want to turn off the camera, you can do that. And then now you can start heading out, and you will be able to get out of the parking lot, and you see the little car thingy is moving and going to the direction that we need to. There you go. It found it. It found the location, and now we have Apple CarPlay on a full mode. Of course, I'm not gonna exit this parking lot quite yet, so I can show you some demo, but that is what you get with this full CarPlay. You can also do a half view. Matter of fact, let's try that here in just a second. So if we were to go and exit this, you can just use this to exit, or you can just press on this button here towards the left and you exit there. So if I go there, if I go to display and then do half a screen, now when I go to home and CarPlay, so you see that that is what the half a screen does, is you have CarPlay here and then you have all the car's information there. So if I was to pull up that menu and if I start driving, you see all the information on the right for the car, but you also see the display with CarPlay on the left. So that is what they mean by full screen and half a screen in this context. But that's what you get. I mean, you can download Waze, anything, and it looks really cool. With the CarPlay, you're able to see all of that info. Now that was CarPlay. Let's talk about Android Auto. So you got that message there just saying basically connect to the Bluetooth. So we're gonna come here and we are going to hit pair a new device, and we're gonna wait for that Bluetooth to pop up, which is this guy here. So we're going to pair, and that is active, and you can see a little Android Auto sign that popped up on the top. It's just gonna take a little bit. My Android phone is a little bit old, so you see that blank there. It just means it's connecting. As I say, this is a little bit of older phone, so it takes a little bit, but as you see, there's the Android Auto that is popping up there. And once it loads, there you go. We've got Android Auto, and we can use this for anything, like as I say, Waze or Google Map or anything that you want to use the Android Auto for. You see that it is a full version of the Android Auto. And one thing that I noticed is that I wish they made that just truly full version. Maybe it's my phone, but it's like there's a lot of blank space there. Let me show you how it looks like if we were to take this out and go to the settings and do a full screen mode. So here is the setting, and I am gonna go to display and then do half a screen. So that was full screen, that was half a screen. And now if I go, yeah, so now it automatically actually did that. So now you have Android Auto on the left side here, and then you got on the right side, you got all of this here. So while you're driving, you are able to see everything on the right side. And let's say if we wanna go CC Speaks, we're gonna start, and there you go. It is started. And the audio that you hear is from the top here, and this is again the half drive. The camera pulls up, and if you want the camera, that's fine. If you don't want it, just press this towards the left once, and then you can start driving, and you will see Android Auto in action. So that is Android Auto for you. There you go. So you can download Waze, you can download any of the Android Auto apps and use your Android phone. And as you saw, it was very quick connection, especially if you have a newer Android phone, it's gonna be even faster. And it's really nice that you can connect this and you just set it and forget it. Like, you don't have to keep connecting this every single time. You just connect it once, and then it's gonna be there for the screen. As soon as you walk into the car, it's gonna auto connect to you. To connect your phone to iPhone casting, where you can project your iPhone to this display, first go to the settings. On Wi-Fi settings, connect the mobile hotspot of your iPhone with this display. It's super easy. Connect the Wi-Fi just like how you would normally use a mobile hotspot. And if you look at it here on the top, there is a mobile hotspot that is connected to this display. And what you do here is, this is your casting. You're gonna see live link, and you basically just connect that live link to this display here, and it is going to start projecting out right there. So you see that it is projecting, so that is the screen mirroring. Now my phone is being mirrored with this display there, and if I was to scroll the right or left, you see the live feedback there. So that's how easy it is to be able to use the connection here to be able to project it out live on the screen. So if you were to scroll down, this is amazing that they got, of course, the Bluetooth, the brightness, the audio. To be honest, I do not know what SWC time or AP does, but this is for battery preconditioning. This is where you can turn off the display, and here are the easy touch button here. So you can open the front passenger, pop out the front passenger, unlatch the front passenger door, the rear left and rear right, which is great. And then you can toggle the seat here. Let's try that seat adjustment here. So this one pushes it forward. I think they got it reverse here. So basically, if I was to press this, look at that, that goes forward a little bit, and it reclines forward too. So it goes forward and reclines it, and then this goes backward and reclines it. So if you see this in our channel, that just means we're going to do some airflow testing. We have done this with every single displays in the past, front, rear, all kinds of displays. So what we do typically is there is an air vent on this display, and we are just going to put this paper here to see how much airflow we get. This is how the airflow works. There is that notch on the bottom that is going through here, and all that airflow just comes through from the bottom, and then it comes and then releases from the front here. So this is where all that airflow is going through. There is a pretty big slit there, but I wish that was bigger, honestly. Like you see how they have all this black space? I wish they just made that to cover that. So the bezels could have easily been covered with that air vent, but that's the design they chose. There's also a little bit of a back space there where if there is any airflow coming from the back, it can go through there, but that's what they did. We're gonna start with a 1. So airflow setting of 1, I have set this to just 1, and let us see what that does. Right now with 1, you're barely gonna get any airflow here, but that's the same thing here or here as well. You're not gonna get much airflow, and of course, putting this to my face, I'm barely getting some airflow right here. So that's 1. Let's crank this up to 5, and let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is with 5, and I'm starting to get airflow directly to my face, and I feel it. And that's because this display has an air vent built into the bottom, and I'll show you when we get a little bit closer what that looks like. But 5, we're getting pretty good airflow here, as you can see. So still decreased airflow compared to not having anything here, but this is a pretty impressive amount of airflow just having that little air vent in the bottom. But if we take this close, you can see there is a lot of airflow directly coming from the front of this display because of that air vent here, and I can feel that here as well. So there is a lot of airflow. You're gonna get more airflow here because there is no display. Same thing with here, there's no more display, but here it's pretty good. Like, look at that airflow. Like, you can still get it, and this is at 5. If you're a really tall person, maybe up to here, you're gonna get just a little bit, but for someone like me, I'm 5'9", and I can get pretty good airflow, and this is my optimal condition for the steering wheel. So if I put it here, as you can see, I feel it at 5. Let's take this to 10. So this is 10. So this is full AC here, and you can see there is a lot of airflow that is coming through. Of course, if I take this closer, you're gonna get a lot more airflow. Here, that's the difference, right? Like, you see that all that airflow here, and here, right in front, there's a little bit of blockage. So you see directly how much it affects is this much, right? Like right here versus here. You still feel the airflow. I still feel it going to my face, but of course, if this display wasn't there, it would be a lot more airflow coming through. But it does have an air vent, so it does flow more air, just not like when you don't have anything here. So just wanted to show you the comparison, but this is not like the other displays without the air vent where it completely blocks it. This one does not block it because it does have the airflow, the vent in the bottom. So what are your thoughts on this display? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What are the good and bad things? Please let me know in the comment section below. I like the integration piece of this display. This has been one of the favorite displays from last year where it came out with the air vent. I wish the air vent was a little bit bigger, but overall how they integrated this, especially with the Highland or Juniper, is really impressive, and it looks really cool. All the UI changes that they have made with the CarPlay now, with the front camera, everything that you can control using this is really impressive and a really good display in my opinion. But I'm interested in knowing your feedback, your thoughts. Please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and come back again soon.